A bestseller, a house flipper, a businesswoman, a go-getter, a big investor, a goal builder that could teach you to get richer like millions, baby. You really about to fill your savings. You about to have multiple streams to pass your children, baby. Let me teach you to get your credit on track in the long run. You'll make it all back at Catalyst and watch it all psychology black on firm, but we ain't all black.
What's up? What's up? What's up, Dr. LaNée?
What's up? What's up? What's up? Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. This is so crazy that we going live today on a Sunday. But, Dr. LaNée and I were just having a conversation. It doesn't look like we were just having a casual conversation the way Dr. LaNée over there dressed. She dressed like she about to go hit the town, shouting.
But no, I want to make sure I show up well for you. You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure I represent you well at all times.
I sure appreciate it. Oh, you look gorgeous, darling.
Thank you.
But this is Dr. LaNée. This is Dr. LaNée Javette. She is she's a brand strategist, a brand your brilliance strategist. What is your title, Dr. LaNée?
I always say I'm a brand your brilliance strategist. Okay. So what I do is I specifically help Black entrepreneurs who package and sell their expertise or their brilliance, right, to monetize. So how do you take what you know and turn it into dough or shmoney, as you would say?
Okay, take what you know and turn it into dough. I love it. I love it. So Dr. LaNée and I, we were just having a conversation about our role as Black women and the things that we're doing in the world and how Black women are showing up. And, I don't know if you guys know that in 2025, over 300,000 Black women lost their jobs. And, and then I just got a call. I got a call from a couple of my good girlfriends who worked in the government sector and who had these good jobs paying like $200,000 a year. And they also told me that they just lost their jobs too, Dr. LaNée. And it was a sad time for them. But for me, on the inside, I was kind of happy for them, and not hatred. I was happy because, oh my God, I thought it was an opportunity for them to start on something great. I thought it was an opportunity for them to really shift, because these are women that I have been talking to who wanted to do something different, who wanted to show up different, who wanted to start their own businesses or really walk in their purpose, but they weren't able to because they had these really good jobs and they were doing all the things and they were making the money. They were going on vacation. They was living their best lives, but they weren't fulfilled. Yep. And so I was secretly like, oh my God, now you finally get to see, like you finally get to live how you and I are able to live every day, waking up, living on purpose. You said what?
It's like you're rooting for everybody Black. Like, oh,
yes.
Like I'm rooting for everybody Black. Even though you lost your job, I still want you to win. I want you to turn that brilliance, that talent, that skill, that whatever it is that you have into something where you can gain some freedom with.
I think it's dope. And so I think a lot of times we will not do what God has placed innately in us to do when we're so comfortable. And sometimes God just has to be like this. I'm going to push you out there. This is what I do to people that I coach. Like, I'm like, hey, I don't want you to be comfortable. You don't want to do this. You're going to do it anyway. You said you want to win. You say you want to grow. You say you want to get uncomfortable. Well, you say you want to stretch yourself. You got to get uncomfortable. And sometimes we're so comfortable and God has to do that. And then we got to turn around and we got to look. And this happened to over 300,000 Black women last year. Up to, I think, 500,000 Black men lost their jobs as well. We're on we are on the chopping block. Our unemployment has been the highest it has ever been in years with this administration. But I just knew when Trump got into office, this was a time for the Great Awakening, Dr. LaNée. I just really felt like this was our moment. I felt like this was different for us. We have the information. We have the education. They fucked around and gave us the internet. We got AI. We got business acumen. We can do whatever the hell we want to do. And I did a TED Talk, which you and I were talking about the Forbes article in 2017 that said by the year 2053, Black median wealth is going to be a zero.
Yep.
Right. And that's what you said, I really wanted to do a conference and I wanted to really address that because I don't believe that is our destiny. I really don't. I don't believe that our wealth is going to be a zero. We've had so many barriers placed against us from the inception of this country. Every single thing that you could think that was thrown our way. The only reason why they are where they are is because they had to get an advantage. If you have to cheat to win, that's not a real win. But they've had to cheat to win all this time. and we've been able to succeed in spite of it.
You have to cheat to win. It's not a real win.
It's not a real win. And they've been winning. They've had the advantage. They've had they've had all those things. So with that being said, I think now we have the great equalizer. We have information. We have people like you who's giving Black women the information to succeed. So I wanted to share some of the things that you're doing in the world, and I wanted to give them some nuggets that they can like take away today, to really just change the trajectory of their lives, Dr. LaNée.
I love that. So is that a question? What can somebody take away today
Yeah, what are some nuggets? What are some things that people can do, so like women to do? So say they lost their jobs and they're trying to figure out what's next. They got a little bit of money in 401k. They wanted to do something, but they weren't quite sure that if they should really pursue their dreams because they don't have the support. Maybe they don't have the motivation. Maybe they don't have the accountability. What's one of the things or a few things that they should do?
The first thing is to take stock. Like, I think that as a community, as Black people, as a community of people who go to a job every day, and even if you have a business, right? Take stock of the talent, the skill, or as I like to call the brilliance that you have, because a lot of times people discount what they know. And by discount, I mean undercharge, but also undervalue what you know. I've given this example a couple of times. I was working with this dude. He was a client of mine, and he wanted to start a trucking business. And so we're literally going down the path of starting this trucking business when he says to me, yeah, I've been sober for the last 5 years. And I was like, I was like, have you thought about, I was like, are you comfortable with talking about your story? He was like, yeah, I do the AA meetings and I go and I've helped other people, get to like a year or 2 years, this and that. And I was like, have you thought about maybe starting a business around that? And he was like, nobody's going to pay me to help them get clean. Yes, they will. They absolutely will. So because you discount it, but it's only been 5 years. I was drinking. He was alcoholic. I was drinking longer than I've been sober, is what he said. Mm-hmm. So he didn't feel like it had any value, but you figured out how to do it, right? He had tried to stop drinking 3 times before he was actually able to do it, and it lasted for 5 years. So I'm like, that's brilliance. That's experience. You tried and failed 3 times. You figured out how to make it to 5 years, and you have a case studies and proof of people that you have at least gotten to a year. That is a program. That's a talent. That's a skill. That you have. So we set up his business on how to, it was something to the effect of like how to stay sober for a year. Did six figures the first year out the gate. Like, so we discount. So take stock of what you're brilliant at.
Okay. So 6 figures the first year right out the gate. You coach somebody to make 6 figures right out the gate. So this is brilliant. And here's the thing about that, Dr. LaNée. A lot of us have things that we do every single day that we undervalue, that we don't find value in. We don't think that people will pay us for. People will pay you handsomely for the things you know. Like there's certain, like just for me, I've been going to train, I have a PhD, a public high school diploma. So I've been going, she has a real PhD. This is a real doctor. She actually went to school, did a dissertation and everything. She's like a real doctor. Okay. But I don't. So I had to overcompensate, and I've done a lot of training and I've been to a lot of classes and development and all that stuff. And I know a lot of stuff. And sometimes I'd be like, how do I know that? Oh, because you just taking it all in. But so with that knowledge that I have like the Grow Your Money Club, where everything that I know, I put in a training and people pay me for it. But I remember talking to Lisa Nichols. You know Lisa Nichols?
Yes.
Now, I was in one of her in her global leadership program, and I remember being there. And this was just a business. This was a business development for leaders from all over the world. And on one of the sessions, she was talking. She was teaching speaking, and I was like, "Why you don't teach this?" This is before she was teaching speaking, and she was like, "This?" I said, "This." She was like, "You think people will pay me to teach speaking?" Yes, you're one of the best speakers in the world. And she was like, light bulb, like, girl. She said, I didn't think people would pay me because I didn't value it because it came so easy to me.
That's the thing. Oh, People say that all the time. Why would I charge for somebody for something that comes so easily to me? When I first got started, I was undercharging. And my mentor said, why don't you charge more? I was like, because I would do it for free. Like I would do this for free. And he had to teach me and show me how, yeah, but if you think about the time that it's taken for you to learn what you have learned, the time away from your family, the financial commitment, then what is the value? He was like, give what you know away for free, but charge for your time. And I was like, oh, that's perspective, right? But if you think about the things that we know and the experiences that we have, the reason why we pay you is because it comes so easy to you.
And it doesn't come easy to everybody else. It doesn't come easy to everybody else, and they will pay you. And so I want people, especially women, especially Black women, but I really want you to think about that is what is something that comes easy to you that you might not even charge for, but you don't think people would pay for because it comes so easy to you. You can actually make millions doing that. That's what people do. That's why people are making millions, is because they are monetizing their what? The brilliance. They're brilliant. All right, what's the second thing?
So the second thing I would say is to get in a room with people who can help you to monetize it. Because I think that the other reason why people struggle with, like, let's say I have a client who used to work at American Express. She's a VP at American Express. And we had to figure out, how do we take what she did there and turn it into something that she can sell to smaller businesses and entrepreneurs, right? So you want to get with somebody that can say, hey, this is a talent and skill that you have, and this is how you can make money on it. Because a lot of times people don't even know, how do I turn this into money? Who came up with letting people get into other people's cars and charging for it? Like Uber, right? Who said, you know what, I'm just gonna let people get into my car. And like, we don't think about the things that we can monetize because we talk ourselves out of them. So get with other people, get into rooms where people are talking about entrepreneurship and business and monetization, so that you can hear yourself speak something out and somebody else can say, I will pay you for that.
They will pay you for it. Listen, getting in the rooms, yo, I remember I used to travel with two of my friends. And we would go everywhere together. We go to different conferences, and then they kind of like fizzled off. Like they were like, this wasn't important for them, that. And so I started paying for VIP access and going to even more conferences and doing more things and putting more money into being in the right rooms around the right people in the right places. Mm-hmm. That access and proximity, that is what helped me to make millions of dollars. And that's what put me in rooms with people like Dr. LaNée and Dr. Boyce and Dr. Frazier and Lisa Nichols and, Les Brown and all of those people, is being in the rooms, proximity and access. It's cool to do like online stuff. That's cool. Virtual is cool. But there's nothing like being in the room. And I'm telling you right now, Dr. LaNée, that has been a game changer for me. Just being there, feeling the energy, feeling the love, feeling the vibes. And then when you're in a room, you get to go and you can mastermind with people. Mm-hmm. I have a good friend named Nasser El Arabi. He goes by the Duru. Have you ever heard of him? The Duru? No. He's a real estate guru. He says he's a Duru, not a guru. Love him to death. Love him to death. He actually really helped me with my first book. He's really popular. He helped me with my first book. He was like, anytime I need anything, I could call him up and, because he wrote a book before me. But one thing, I would watch him. I had seen him at like Tony Robbins conference, and he was like, I want to schedule some time with you, and I had just seen him he was working in a call center when I met him, and he was making like $14 an hour. He's just post dumb shit online, and he was really, really funny. And then he got into wholesaling, got into flipping, got into real estate, and now he's a multi-millionaire. But I watched that man go to conferences, pay the mastermind, pay $50,000 to be in this room, to pay this coach for that. And look at where he is right now. Same with me. I mean, I paid my coaches $50,000, $30,000, $20,000, $5,000 to be in those rooms, but also to get that knowledge. I was watching, I think something online the other day, and this guy said he paid $2.5 million to have dinner with Warren Buffett. And the guy said, was it worth it? He said it was worth every penny. because the game that was delivered to him in that dinner made him $50 more million.
Mm-hmm.
Getting around the right people, access and proximity is everything.
Here's the thing. I'm not gonna say I don't think people think about it, but I'll just tell my story. I'll just tell my story. By the time I made my first real significant investment in myself, as far as my business goes, it was $10,000, right? And it was the first time that I had actually spent $10,000 on a program. And I'm feeling great about myself. Like, oh my God, I finally arrived. I'm at a place where I can spend $10,000. And I made that $10,000 investment. And I had already passed the $10,000 program. I'm sorry. I had already passed a $10,000 problem. I could have taught the $10,000 class. She ended up giving me $3,500 back.
Why?
Because the stuff that she was doing in the class, I already had it.
Really?
Like development, like it was like to restructure your business and do this branding and do all these things. And I was like, well, I already have that, and I already have that, and I already have that. So I'm not going to pay for it again. Like, I've already done all this stuff. I thought we were going to be doing these other things. I thought this was going to be further. And so by the time I made a $10,000 investment, I had passed the $10,000 problem. So my next investment was $25,000. And then I 5X that investment. I made going into that space, going into that room, I was able to 5X that investment. So I made my money back plus a couple of $100,000, right? Well, that's not a couple hundred, 5X. This was like 125, but that's neither here nor there. But that's what I don't think we think about, especially when somebody might say, I don't have it, right? I don't have the $10,000 to invest. But I was sitting in a conversation the other day with at NABO, and they were talking about how do you know when it's important? How do you know when it's time to hire? And the lady was saying that she needed an operations manager. And she was saying, but she didn't have the funds to hire an operations manager. And so she said in the end, she buckled down and she did everything that she had to do to get an operations manager because she was drowning. She said when she got herself as an operations manager, her revenue 3X'd. Didn't have the money to pay for it. She buckled down. I forget exactly what she said that she had to do to make the money for the operations manager. And when she hired them, she was able to 3X revenue. And I'm saying all that to say, a lot of times we think, I don't have it. I don't got the money. I don't have this. But you don't realize that when you figure it out and you find it and you get in the room, you actually make more money. I was a little bit disappointed with myself that I had waited so long to make a $10,000 investment. I did have it. I was scared. I was scared of spending that money and not knowing if I was going to make it back. And by the time I was past it.
I think that's the problem that most people have is they have the money to invest in themselves because I'm telling you, Dr. LaNée, I've invested, I own real estate, both commercial and residential. I invest in stock. I have a marijuana dispensary. I invest in different types of things, but the biggest investment that I've made is in myself. And a lot of times people don't bet on themselves. And so they'll have the money, but then they'll be like, well, what if I don't make the money back? And that holds a lot of people up. And that's the reason why they stay stuck where they are, because they fail to invest that money into themselves so that they can 10X their return on investment. The people who make the money are the people that are investing the money. If a man will pay $2.5 million to sit with Warren Buffett for dinner and said that had made him money, that made him $50 million, right? Then you could spend your little $200, your $500, your $5,000, your $25,000, your $30,000 if it's going to get you. Because I know, listen, I spent $30,000. I made $1 million. Was it worth it? Absolutely. If the $30,000 is going to make me $1 million, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to rerun the play again, and I'm going to run the play again, because I know that I'm a sure thing. I know if I'm going to spend that kind of money, and that's the difference too. We can have a program and we can let people in the program for free. The people who get in for free ain't going to do shit. You know why? Because people don't value free. But the people who pay $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 to get into the program, they're going to do everything that you tell them to do, and they're going to get that return on investment because they are not going to waste that money. And that's the same thing with me. If I'm going to spend $30,000 on a coach, I'm not going to just make my money back. I'm going to make a profit because I'm going to do everything I'm supposed to do in order to make that money back.
Yep. And you have to go into it like that. I think so. To your point, I think that's why people get, are scared or fearful. Like if you don't know, if I'm parting ways, one, I'm gonna show up prepared, right? I'm gonna show up like I got to get everything that I need to get. I need to make sure that I get this return on my investment. That's one. And then two, I'm going to work that environment. Hey, how are you doing? Hey, do you want to collaborate? Do you want to? And then three, when I get home, I'm going to open up whatever I learned and start applying it. Right. A lot of times we go into spaces and we spend our money and then we go home and we're like, well, I didn't get anything. Did you not get anything? Or did you not use what you got?
That part. Yep. I tell you what, I'm a real stickler about people who come inside my community and being not just hearers of the word, but doers of the word. Because one thing you're not going to do is say, I've taken anything or I've worked with Constance and I got no return on my investment. I ain't getting nothing out of it. No, you're going to get something out this shit. Because I'm going to make sure you get something out this. And that's the reason why I'm very picky, though. I've actually turned people down from coming into our community if they said that they weren't going to do it. Somebody actually asked me that. I was interviewing them and they said, well, what if I don't do it? And I said, then you shouldn't get committed to this if you're not going to do the things that are outlined, because I only want people who are willing to play full out. And so if you got money to waste, this is not for you, sweetheart. For me, all money's not good money. So I only want people who want to work, huh?
And I don't want it. I'm a results. I used to say I'm a results horse. Somebody was like, that's not very ladylike, but
I'm a results stallion.
Yeah, I'm a results junkie. I mean, I don't know if that's any better, but I like results. I need results. I am addicted to results. I need to know that you are doing well. Like that's, 100%. I show to know that if I don't know that myself as a servant and I'm serving you and you're not getting it and you're not doing well and you're not promoting and you're not progressing, then I don't feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And now it's affecting me. So I need to know that you are seeing results. Or I fire clients, and this is not to make go left, but by fire, I mean, if I'm not a benefit to you, I'm hurting you.
Absolutely. We wasting time. And I'm not in the waste of time. Time is so limited, Dr. LaNée. Time is so limited. I don't have a whole lot of time, but I certainly got time to waste. That part. What's the third thing?
The third thing I would say is use your startup monies wisely. I think that a lot of times when let's say, because we're talking about if somebody has lost their job or they're transitioning, right? A lot of times you get a 401k, or you might have severance, or you might have something, then you're trying to figure out like, how am I going to start this business, right? Use your finances wisely. Spend on things that you have to spend on. A lot of times when people are transitioning and they got a little stack of money, they spend too much money too quick, too fast. I gotta get a logo. I gotta get my website. I gotta get this, and the no product to boot. You don't know sale. You don't have your social media together. No email. No CRM. No nothing. And then you end up having to do things 2, 3, 4, 5 times over, which takes me back to make sure you're in the right room, right? Make sure you have the right conversation, because really just having the business acumen and knowing how to get started. When I first got started, I paid for my my logo 3 times before I got the one I wanted. And it was upsetting because I saw the lady who I wanted to do it, but I thought she was too much money. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna reach out to her. I'm gonna find somebody else. So the first logo cost me like $50 and it was trash. So I was like, let me pay a little bit more. Let me pay like $100. So I paid $100 the second logo and it was trash again. So I was like, fine, let me just pay somebody like $150. So I paid somebody $150 and I was like, this is ridiculous. At this point, I've paid $150, $300, right? So I was like, let me just call old girl and see if she'll do it. Ask me how much her logo was.
How much was her logo?
$25.
$25?
$225.
The money that you had already spent?
I had already spent it, but I didn't know
that's what you get for being cheap.
That's what I get for being cheap and not knowing enough about business that says, hey, this is your logo. This is one of those things you should make an investment in, right? Just making sure that you're spending your money wisely. So you're not spending it multiple times, getting a domain and then changing your business name and having to get another domain, setting your business name up and then realizing, I don't really like that business name and having to pay for it again. When I left my job with $50,000 for my 401k. I'm thinking, I got enough money to write this out for a year, but I did not take into consideration business costs. That was like, I'm going to live on $50,000. But in order to live and operate my business, I was out of $50,000 in 6 months.
That's minimum.
So the third thing is manage your money properly, like just really have some, and it's wrapped up in business acumen, knowing what you should pay for, knowing how to price it, knowing how to negotiate, like those types of things. I'm sure you've seen people who have gotten started, they paid the wrong coach, paid to be in the wrong room, saw something online, didn't do your research, and then you add money. Like, it's unfortunate.
But you know what though? But I do think that is part of business, because I've done that. So I've had bad coaches. I've paid for, I've invested. So it's kind of like investing in the stock game, right? Of course, you want to make calculated risks. You want to make sure that you study your investment before you make that investment. But sometimes you may make the wrong investment. And so what I don't want people to do is get discouraged because they do make the wrong investment, because I've made wrong investments. Yeah. So like I've invested in shit that I've spent $150,000 on that gave me no ROI. Yeah. And then I've invested in things that, that I've put that money in, like my dispensary that's given me, that's, made me a lot of money. So it just all depends. So make sure that you do take those calculated risks. And I'll say this, because one thing that you said that I think was really important, a lot of people will like do all the things and they have no business. One thing that Lisa told me, since we bring it up, Lisa Nichols, is she said, she was like if you're going to do a training, don't start doing the outline and put all the work in the training until you get the people in that signed up for the training, right? So I'll do a training. I'll promote the damn training. I'll have an idea of what the training is. And it, of course, it's in my wheelhouse, but I'm not going to have all the modules and everything set up until I'm almost ready. That's a little bit of a secret, So the biggest thing I think.
That's your MVP. So we call that your minimum viable product.
Yeah. Yeah. MVP. And being MVP. Able to market it. So you have to just be a genius marketer in order to get people in the room, because you could have a dope ass product. You could have a dope ass service, but if nobody knows about it, then it's not going to be seen. You're not going to make any sales.
Best kept secret.
You could be the best kept secret. You could have the best pork chop on the south side of where you live at, Arizona, Phoenix.
Arizona.
Phoenix. The best pig's feet, and nobody know about it. And but if you market that junk, then you can make millions of dollars. And that's the difference between, you see people who, because sometimes I see people and I'm like, damn, they're doing wonderful. I remember a good girlfriend of mine, one of my neighbors, she was telling me about a girl she was mentoring. She said this girl came to her house for a weekend, did this training, but she was in this circle of people who are big in social media. She did training and was teaching people how to, I think, invest in stock or something like that. Made $1 million, and she didn't even know how to invest in stock. You know what she knew?
How to
market. She knew how to market, and then gave them basic ass information. I'm not saying for anybody to do that. I'm just saying that's how important your marketing is. Getting eyes in front of people, so that they can know who you are, so they can see you, so that they know what you do. Now, if you have somebody like that, she's gonna make that $1 million one time. She'll never make that $1 million again, because it's kind of like eating a Twinkie. No substance. Ain't got no substance. It's all sugar, no substance. So nobody's gonna come back again, because there's no nutritional value in what it was that she did. Understand what I'm saying? So you might make that $1 million once. And so fool me one time, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. Or shame on you. Shame on me.
One time, shame on you. Fool me 2 times, shame on me.
Right, shame on me. So she's probably not gonna get that, especially if there was no nutritional value in what it was that she did. But that marketing has to be impeccable. And then you couple marketing with quality service, with a quality training, with something of value that you give to them. I mean, you winning. You winning. So you said what?
You thick like peanut butter. You out here. They coming back. They want some more. How can I get it?
Listen. So for those of you guys who are watching, are you on Instagram, or did you didn't put your Instagram profile? I'm on. I don't normally go on Instagram when I go live, but I'm on Instagram. There's a bunch of people on Instagram too. If you guys want, what we're talking about is how Black women are on the forefront of closing the wealth gap. And if you have a question or a comment, we can't see your comment or question if you're on Instagram. So come over to Facebook or YouTube. I am Constance Carter, or I am Dr. LaNée Javette. You could hop on, and if you have questions, you can put it in the comments, and we'll answer your question live. But one thing about, I think, Dr. LaNée, about Black women closing the wealth gap, because that's my purpose. So just a little background about what I did is I built the largest Black-owned real estate firm in California. Most of the people who work for me now, I was Black-owned, but I wasn't Black-only. We didn't have a Black-only company. We had everybody working for us. We had Hispanic, Asian, white. We had men, but the majority of the people who work for me were Black women. And it was cool. It was a great environment. The synergy was awesome. It was just, I poured in a lot into, not just motivating them, but just giving them the personal development and the professional development that they need in order to be successful. So when I transitioned my business a couple of years ago, I went through a divorce and I moved to the East Coast abruptly. Moved to the East Coast, kind of shut the operations down for a little bit. And I was like, okay, I took 2 years off. I took 2 years off and I was chilling. And I didn't want to do nothing. I was burnt out. I went through this really terrible divorce and I was just kind of burnt out. And I was like, what do I really want to do in this next chapter of my life? And I knew I wanted to work with Black women because I know us. I love us. And I did a TED Talk in 2020 about closing this very thing, about closing the wealth gap. And I talked about, what that meant. And I don't believe it. Somebody's in the comments talking about, no, it's going to take 228 years. I don't believe that. Mm-hmm. Listen, look at what we've gotten with what we've had, right? 44% of us are homeowners in spite of redlining, predatory lending, us not being able to get FHA loans, GI bills. We were still, 44% of us were still able to get homes. Okay. So that's glass half full, because only 70% of them have homes. You would think 100% of them have homes with no obstacles. With obstacles, still 44% of us have homes. And that should be lower considering, right, the obstacles. So I know what it is. I know about our resilience. And so for me, it was like, okay, what do I want to do in this next chapter? And it was like, I really want to work with Black women because I know I speak the language. I know who we are. I love us. I know what our pain points are. Where, we work hard. You give us food, we gonna make a meal. You give us a house, we gonna make a home. You give us a seed, we gonna make a goddamn baby. So we're all the things. And there's an African proverb that said, when you teach a man, you teach an individual, but when you teach a woman, you teach a nation. Because men, they're gonna learn. That's great. They're gonna build. And when I talk about teaching Black women, I'm talking about teaching everybody. I'm talking about the community, right? So with Black women, we're not just going to hear it. We're going to teach our children. We're going to show our husbands. We're going to teach our communities. So for me, it just made sense. My passion being Black women, my purpose being closing the wealth gap. What can I do in this chapter of my life to really close that wealth gap? And that was to work with Black women. And that's the reason why I have Net 7 Collective. I came up with Net 7 Collective, which is a community of Black women from all over the country. And Dr. LaNée, when I tell you, it was more than I ever thought it could be. I knew I had this vision in my mind because I sat down, I visualized it, I manifested it, all the things, I did all the work and all the things. And I called the ladies, I attracted the ladies. And this community is, we have some of everybody. We have coaches like you, we have doctors, and we have lawyers, we have judges, we have IT professionals, we have housewives who are transitioning, we have people who lost their job, we have IT professionals, we have entertainers, we have entertainers mamas, we have actresses mamas, we have, just all kinds of different women that run the gamut that are inside this community. And what we've essentially done is been able to, help them to increase their net worth, 86%, and help them to increase their businesses, transition into businesses, add other revenue streams. We've been able to do that, right? And so that right there for me, that is like, I still have a real estate company. I opened that back up last year. I own a mortgage company and do all these other things, but Black women is my passion. That's the reason why I think our connection is so great, is because Black women is your passion too, right?
Yes, I was typing to you in the back end. I was trying to figure out how to share it on my Instagram, which is why you see me looking down. Yes. So let me say this, because you brought up such good points. I have struggled with this for a while now, to be honest with you. as a Black women are immediately attracted to us because, you know, we got that Black girl magic. And so Black women are immediately attracted to us. And there's enough out there for everybody, right? And so early on, I used to say Black women. And then I started noticing that my numbers started shifting. And before, when I was like heavily Black women, then I started noticing Black men started to like creep up. And before I knew it, I'm at like a 60-40 split now, 60% Black women, 40% Black men.
Really?
Yes.
Black men always say, well, why don't you have anything for us? I'm like, somebody else got something for you. Black women. Okay.
Yes, but man, Black men. I love working with Black men. One, I just feel like there's enough out there for them. I feel like not everybody, but as Black women, we're the most educated right now. We're the fastest growing population. We are the fastest growing population for as entrepreneurs, and the opportunity is vast. But more importantly, we show up and we don't mind paying you the dollars, right? Like we know that these are the positives of working with Black women. But I feel like Black men are working with Black women and Black women are working with Black women. Who's working with Black men? And so with my program, I decided to be like, you know what? I prayed on it and I was like, I work with Black people, Black entrepreneurs, right? I just ended up, and my spirit was like, okay with that. And my numbers say that it's good and it's right. And so I work with everybody. I say that to say, I'm still a Black woman, right? I'm still a Black woman. So I still have programming that creates a safe space for us, right? Like Black Power, which is going down right there, right? I still want to have spaces where Black women can come and feel good about themselves and be safe, because we know we operate a little bit different. This magic don't come from by just being magical. We talk a little bit differently. We have different experiences, what we deal with, what we go through. And so it's necessary that we have safe spaces for Black women to show up and be Black women without being judged, without being called aggressive or abrasive or whatever the case might be, loud. You know what I'm saying? We get down differently. So I love that you have Net 7, and I love that there's a place to go for it. For me, I didn't create only a Black woman space. I created the Hive, which has Black entrepreneurs, but I still know that it's very important that Black women have a safe haven and a space to go to.
Yeah. You know, when you said that, it made me think. I was in one of our sessions a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about lies and truth, right? So a lot of times we've told ourselves lies about what we can't do that's held us back, or other people have told us lies. Mm-hmm. And so we were talking about that. And so we had to break those myths of the lies that we've been told or that we've told ourselves. And this is why having a space for Black women is so important, because in that session, somebody said, the lie that I told myself was I was too dark. Right? You can't have that conversation amongst mixed company. But then it garnered the conversation around colorism and about what it looked like being Black women and how that showed up for us. And so we were able to really dig deep, because that's a real thing for Black women in all shades, from all spectrums. And so for me, it was such a rewarding conversation. I actually had an agenda that day that we're gonna, because I have curriculum. Like you go to the Net 7 website, there's a curriculum, and we gonna get to some strategies. But sometimes we just got to get to the mindset piece. Mm-hmm. We work on mindset on every session, but we just dug deep in there and just kind of had some breakthroughs around what that looked like, and how it showed up, and how those were lies, and how we are beautiful, and how we aren't aggressive, and how we, and we have to walk differently. I even in my real estate company, I remember having a conversation with one of my agents. She was like, I was at this white company and they told me that they went and walked their dog and people were petting their dog, and they went and walked their dog and knocked on people's doors and asked them if they want to sell their homes. They were able to get a listing that way. And I went and walked my dog and people were scared. Yeah, you can't do what white people do.
Can't do the same thing.
You can't do the same thing. You just can't. Somebody else was like, well, I was watching this, this one guy, this one sales guy, and he's like, I don't go in, white guy, old guy, his name is Mike Ferry. I don't go into anybody's house. I'm in and out in 30 seconds. I get the listing and I bounce. You are not a white man, Black woman. Not only do a lot of white people don't trust us, but Black people don't trust us. So we got to go in there. We got to schmooze. We got to be their best friend. We can't do what they do. We can't have the same conversations that other people have. And so we have to approach business in that way. In my business in Stockton, California, I had 2 offices, beautiful offices. I wish I have pictures up, but they were beautiful, very beautiful offices. When you come into my office, they were very modern, and it was very bright, but it was excellence. And I understand that if you're Black, excellent is merely good, right? Good is average, average is mediocre to some people. Mm-hmm. And so people didn't want to work with us simply because we were Black. And I had white people who came to my office who worked for me, who were top producers at the big box agencies, and said, I made 3 times more working for you, Constance, than I ever did working for a Prudential or a Keller Williams or a Coldwell Banker. Because they got tools, they were able to do different types of transactions. I had other ways that they were able to make money. So I had multiple revenue streams built inside the business. So they were able to make more money, but they had the knowledge. I had, the training and the motivation. And then it was a team. So people, they felt that they were part of something bigger than them. And they felt that they felt ownership of the company. I was really good about making them feel like they owned the company, that this was their business as well. Mm-hmm. So, but I understood that because we were Black, people automatically they counted us out. You've seen excellence. Wasn't no slacking. We wasn't running no business. We were running a business. And that was extremely important. But still, with us running an excellent business, people still looked at us like we were, but that's their problem. That's not my problem. I just made sure that we always up leveled our standards of service to ensure that when we present it right. So even now, like me coming back and, me taking 2 years off, and, there's a buzz in Stockton about, oh, Constance Carter's back. Oh my God. Right. Because I had a reputation that, and it wasn't, I'm not bragging on myself, but I always would tell my agents, be kind when you're working with people, because when I was first starting, people were assholes. Just be kind, because you never know. I got a transaction out there that I'm closing right now. She had several offers. She wanted to do business with me because I established great relationships with people. That's important. Your reputation is important. These things are important. So teaching Black women that and having that is an important component of the business that I don't think is taught enough, or being, understanding how to be a leader, a good leader, because a leader is not just a boss. A leader is a servant. I'm serving. Yes. So I'm not bossing you around. I'm serving you so that I can inspire you to be your best. And that's what, as a leader. So that's what I'm developing inside Net 7 is I'm developing leaders, women who are leaders, not bosses, not boss bitches, but we're leaders, and leading them to be, to be able to lead others and to be able to lead their households and lead their communities and leave legacies. It's so much bigger than what we are. It's so much bigger. So I think it's so dope, Dr. LaNée, that we're going to actually be in Miami at the end of next month, like pouring into leaders.
Pouring into leaders, pouring into Black women, pouring into entrepreneurs, pouring into professionals, pouring into, I think we need a new saying, not necessarily when iron sharpens iron, but when magic and magic gets together.
Woo! Let's go, magic and magic.
The magic and magic touch. And it is to be, I guess, like I would say, like a lot of times people go to conferences and you go and you sit and you, like I kind of talked about this a minute ago. You go, you sit, you take notes, you leave, and you don't do anything with it. But you feel good in that moment. You get shish boom ba, you get kumbaya, you high five, you do all the things, and then you go home, and then you like you get excited. You go to the conference, you get to the conference, the room is right, the dancing is right, everything is going great, and then you go back home, right? Yeah. Next month, what we're going to be doing, we're going to get women into the room. We're doing a CEO workroom, because I'm glad you asked. It is a space where we get to come and do work. It's a smaller room. It's not like hundreds of people, because you can't, I got to make sure I say this right. You can get something done with hundreds of people in a conference. Let me say that you can. But what we're doing in this workroom is we're making it more intimate so that you can have your questions answered. Meaning we can work with you. You can ask Constance, myself, or some of our other guest speakers a question, and they can respond to you. We are printing out a workbook for you so that when you leave, you will have everything written in your workbook. In 2053, they're saying that Black wealth is going to be at zero. We want to make sure that wealth doesn't miss you. We want to make sure that wealth doesn't jump over your family, that wealth doesn't jump over your household, your legacy. And so the goal is to create a 5-year business plan for you. Every CEO, every entrepreneur, every Black woman that comes into this room will leave with their physical plan of action, of execution for 5 years, right? That's not to say that you won't have to edit it. That's not to say that you won't have to update it, because we know that things happen. You know, we got this man in the office, so we know things happen. We don't know what's going to happen from day to day. So we know things will happen, but at least you will have your marching orders, right? Because when we think about what's going on with Black wealth, when we think about what's going on with the gap, a lot of what it is just not being clear. I don't know what I'm doing in my business. I don't know what I'm doing with my business. Who do I serve? How should I serve them? Where should I show up? What products should I have? Am I monetizing my business appropriately? What's my business model? Like, we just don't know these different things. I always say that you can luck up on 100,000. It's not, I'm not saying that it's easy, but you can luck up on 100,000. You can't luck up on 1 million. It takes strategy. You have to know some things. You got to be in the right room. And so that's what we're doing in Miami. We're bringing magic into the room. We're governing.
Girl, I thought you was going to say Magic Johnson.
Girl, no. I wish. Listen, manifest. No, listen. We're bringing Constance. You don't always do this. We're bringing Constance Carter into the room, right? We're bringing myself into the room. We have a tech CEO, LaNée Johnson, coming into the room. We have Athena Gardner coming into the room. We have Miss Black Hollywood being our moderator. And then Dr. Boyce Watkins is going to come and be our guest speaker. And I asked him, I was like, have you ever addressed an all-woman room before? Like, have you ever sat and go, because we're about to grill you, right? And it's very different. It's not like a whole bunch, it's not panel style where you're just going to come in there and sit and listen. It is, let me answer your, what's your question in the third row? Yeah, okay. Let me tell you, okay, so this is how I think we can apply that. And so it's I have never been to a workroom like this before, a CEO workroom, where the speakers actually get to talk to you, talk back to you, listen to your questions, help you walk around the floor. Let me see what you're working on. Let me see if I can, help you with that. But I want to make sure that wealth doesn't miss us. I want to make sure wealth doesn't miss Black women. I want to make sure that we have a seat at the table when we start talking about the wealth gap. I want to make sure that we can take care of our families, but also, like what you and I are doing, collaborate.
Yeah.
Have you been reading articles around collaboration being the next wave, the next trend in entrepreneurship?
I didn't know that.
Collaboration. I always see entrepreneurs in other communities collaborate. They do events together. They promote each other's products and services to each other. Like, they go out and they make money together. Yes. It is hard to be an entrepreneur. It is hard to put up all the money by yourself. And if they're not giving us capital, collaborating and saying, I don't have to do everything by myself is the way to go. So a part of this room is getting around other women who do business that you can collaborate with, that you can work with. You can take some of the load off and say, hey, you do fashion, I do makeup. Do you want to do a beauty and clothes event? Like, you don't have to do it all by yourself.
Yeah. That is so brilliant. And that's what we need to do. Dr. George Fraser is one of my mentors, and he's a brilliant networker. But one of the things that he often says is that Black people, we work in silos too much, and we have to start working together. It's kind of like, we're all doing different things separately. But what if we were able to come together? This is a weave that could not be broken if we were able to come together and we were able to utilize our strengths and our talents. And that's the reason why, like, the people that I coach, I do strengths assessments, because I want to see where they are, because I believe that we should operate in our strengths rather than our weaknesses. And you collaborate with the people that maybe you're not as strong on, and you bring those people in, and then you work and you stay in your own lane. You really understand how to stay in your own lane. And so this is brilliant. That's one of the things, collective economics, paramount. Y'all, paramount for our success. Asians have the lowest voter turnout in the country, but they are the most insulated when it comes to politics. Why? Because they have the economic power. Why? Because they practice collective economics. I was growing up, I grew up in San Jose, California. and we have a large Asian population. It ain't no joke. And I remember when I was growing up, we used to laugh at them because they'd be like 15 deep in the house. It'd be 15 of them up in the house. We'd be like, look at all them Asians in the house. They own San Jose. Every strip mall is owned by them people because they mastered the art of collective economics, of collaboration. That is key. We have adopted, Black people, this rugged Eurocentric individualism that is not innately in us. We are communal by nature, but we've adopted what they do, and that's not who we are. So because they've sown this discourse in us and this negativity and all these things about us not trusting each other, we're crabs in a barrel, we're better, I'm better than you, and all that shit, that we've started to adopt those same talking points, and therefore we don't work together as much as we should, but we can. And notice what other people are doing and how they are getting ahead. And so when they're talking about us not being able to close a wealth gap, oh yes, we will, because I think what's happened in this administration with everything that's going on, there's been a great awakening happening, because now we see exactly what the fuck has been going on all these years. These people have been lying dormant, waiting for an opportunity to be able to talk like they talk and act like they act. They've been quiet. The civil rights movement made everybody shut up. It made everybody. They're like but they've been wanting to talk. They said I'll be quiet, just like when Debo punked him. But when he leave, I'll be talking again. When Trump came in, they were saying, when Charlie Kirk was there, they were saying he's finally saying the things that I've been wanting to say that I have not been able to say. They finally been given permission. So that's what we're seeing. We're seeing exactly who they are. So guess what we got to do? We got to be exactly who we are. We got to get information. We got to stop the distrust, and we have to start collaborating and working together. That is the way that we will close this wealth gap.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I mean, it's required, like, if we truly saw ourselves the way that they saw us, really saw ourselves as resilient, if we really got on one accord, if we really were a community, like we say, the Black community, like if we really were to congregate, collaborate, and lock arms, man, we'd shut this thing down.
You think about this.
We don't know it.
When people, they are not, think about your history. Think about the DNA that is in you, Black people. Let's just talk about that real quick, because I need you to really understand your DNA. People, they don't fear weakness. They don't fear inferiority. They fear your power. Ain't nobody working that hard to stop nobody that they think is beneath them. They can't operate when the playing field is level. They just can't. They know your genius. They know your greatness. So what Dr. LaNée said is, if we only seen ourselves the way they really see us, see, they using that reverse psychology to act like that's not what they see. But they really see you as powerful people. If we saw us as the way they seen us, man, we get information.
We get information. So I think that's like literally every day I wake up to make sure that there's a place to get information, right? To make sure that I'm speaking into Black people, to make sure that I'm speaking into Black women, to make sure that I'm creating products, goods, and services for our businesses, to empower us, to go against imposter syndrome. Nobody else on earth deals with imposter syndrome like Black women and Black men do, right? Less in our community. If you look at what they're showing us on TV, if you look at the music that they're pumping into our communities, where are the good, wholesome family shows? We were talking about this the other day on Finding Your Money. We grew up with Cosby Show, A Different World, Living Single, Family Matters. Like, it was ingrained in us to have wholesomeness. What do you have on TV now? Love and Hip Hop. Like, all of what is good, like they're trying to take it and tear it apart and destroy it. But we have to work to make sure that doesn't happen. And so, being a servant leader, as I would like to believe that I am, the goal is to serve the community and just make sure that to leave it better than it was when we got here, to figure out opportunities to collaborate. I used to be a horrible collaborator, but now thanks to people like Constance, you get the right network of people, the right community of people. You can call up and say, hey, you want to do this conference with me? Hey, do you want to do this with me? Hey, how do you feel about doing that? I called Constance one time. I'm a pat you on the back really quickly. I have the Hive, right? Constance has Net 7. I have this program, this community called the Hive, and it's really around working as a collective, right? If you think about bees and how they all come into the hive, they all have a job, but they all work as a community. The hive doesn't function, the hive doesn't produce unless we all do it. And so one of the things that we do in the Hive is bring in different people. And one of the things that I want to teach this community is real estate. And I was telling Constance, I was like, I would ask you, but I know you already have your own thing. And so you don't have, she was like, girl, what are you talking about? She was like, I'm gonna be there. Just tell me when to be there. I'm gonna be there. I was like, are you sure? She was like, yes. She was like, you have your people. I have my people. And, she was like, I'll come. And you want to be around people who are not competitive, who are not jealous, who want to see you win, who understand that there's more than enough for everybody. You can't serve all the people. And it's a lot of work. There's work out here for everybody.
People. And here's the thing, especially working with Black people, y'all, we have been so taken advantage of and left out of that we gonna need help for the next 150 years. So we all need help. And I can't serve some people don't want to work with me. They want to work with Dr. LaNée. Some people may not want to work with her. They want to work with me. And it's okay because we all gonna eat. But I will say this. She said, I'm not that great of a collaborator because I just be like, let me know when to show up, but I ain't doing a whole lot of work.
You send out the email.
I always tell my daughter, we got a little podcast. Tell me where my mark is. Where do I stand? Tell me what am I gonna? I'm the talent. Just let me. So listen. I'll do it. I'm gonna be there. Let me know what you need me to do. Like I used to be in Jack and Jill. We used to do this crab feed, right? We had all these type A personalities and everybody wanted to be in charge. I'm like, just tell me where you want the tables moved. Cause I don't just, I'm just keep me behind and say, whatever you need me to do, I'm here. But I'm not going to be the one that's telling everybody. I'm not going to be directing. I'm not her. If you need me to direct and do all that shit, it ain't going to be me. But I'll show up. I'll move the tables around.
Sometimes you just need people to show up, though.
Yeah.
Like I always say this. Hopefully, nobody in my family's watching this. Please, Lord. But I feel like I am a chief every day. But when I get around like other chiefs, I play Indian. Like I don't gotta be. I don't gotta be a chief all the time.
I'm the best Indian in the world.
Let me Indian it out. Tell me what you need. Where do you want me to go? What you need me to do?
I'm an Indian in every other setting other than what I have to be. Like if I have to be on and I gotta do my shit, I'm a chief there. Everything else, you tell me what I need to do and I'll be there. But I'm not going to exert any extra energy. I was talking to my daughter before she got on. She was like, what'd you say? You're so like calm.
You're so calm. You were talking, I'm assuming you're talking to your son. I was
talking to my daughter.
Was that your daughter?
Yeah.
You said, what does it? Okay.
That's how
I was like, damn.
It ain't no whole lot of elevation. My assistant used to be like, how do you just stay? I don't have a whole lot of energy to exert to a lot of things. My focus is that's why I got my ass kicked in a divorce. Cause I just didn't want to fight. He kicked my ass. I brought a knife to a gunfight. I was like, take it here. I can make it again. Let me go. But anyway, I digress. There's a couple of questions. If anybody wants to ask a question, if you're on Instagram, you want to ask a question, you guys come on YouTube, go to I am Constance Carter on YouTube, or even on Facebook, or go to Dr. LaNée at I am Dr. LaNée Javette.
Yeah, there you go, right there. I was like,
but so there's a couple of questions on here. I want you to answer. Okay, so Dr. Vibe Show, what's up, Dr. Vibes?
Dr. Vibe.
Okay, so what is the biggest challenge you both hear from Black women when it comes to entrepreneurship?
I'm gonna say the one. If I don't say it, you're gonna be like, that's not it. So let me just throw this one out there. Money, right? Capital is the biggest one. I need money to operate my business. we know that one. So I'm going to skip that one and say business acumen. And knowing like I have this business and I don't know what to do. Like that's like one of the biggest things that I hear Black women say about starting a business. Oh, we are starting businesses. And I say starting, emphasis on starting businesses faster than everybody else, but we don't necessarily know how to operate our businesses. We know we have a concept, we have an idea, we know how to get the logo, we know how to get the domain, we know how to get the website, but then what do I do? How do I actually make money? Where do I go? How do I show up? What do I sell? So that's usually where people get caught up, is the clarity on how they're going to monetize. At least that's what I hear with my clients. What about you?
I'm in agreement. I would say I'm in agreement totally. One is they know they want to do something. They don't know what to do. So they don't have the tools and the strategy. So they don't have that. They don't have the motivation and they don't have the accountability. So they don't have the tools. Sometimes they need somebody to help motivate them. So they need coaching, right? So you have Dr. Phil, you have Phil Jackson. He coached Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. He coached two different championship teams. These are champions. Michael Jordan, the best player in the world. Kobe Bryant, one of the best players in the world. But they needed a coach like Phil Jackson in order to get them to their greatness and get them to the championships, to get them 12 rings that he was able to get. So I think TD Jakes talks about having a coach. Oprah, people who play at high levels, they need people to help them. I have coaches. You have coaches. We pour into ourselves. You know, YouTube is good. Be on YouTube, but it only take you so far. You need somebody who's going to give you the experience, who's going to give you the help, who's going to hold you accountable, who's going to give you the strategies. So I think those are things I think that a lot of women don't have, and just people don't want to invest in themselves. They're afraid to do that, and you know, scared money don't make money. Period. Pooh. And then Dr. Vibe said, what suggestion do you have for Black men when it comes to supporting Black women entrepreneurs?
That's easy one. Support them. I would say one of the reasons why I love Black men from the entrepreneur space specifically is I have Black men that will see me online and will buy my product, my service, my coaching for their wife. They'll be like, you need to go see it. You listen, I bought it for you. Here you go. So I love that. I also love that I have women, some of my coaching clients who have been like, hey, I need you to work with my man. I need you to work with my husband. Hey, do you mind if I bring him with me? Hey, do you mind?
I'm surprised because you cute and things, and they be letting they men come work with you, girl.
Like I have one of my clients. I meet with them separately. I meet with her and I meet with him completely separately. She was like, I don't want him in my business. He has his own thing. He wants to get started. I want you to help him get it started. All right. So, but what can men do for women? It really is supporting. Right. What does that look like? It could be that maybe your wife, your sister, your niece, you know, somebody that wants to start a business, invest in them, either invest in their business or invest in getting them the business knowledge, acumen, coaching that they need in order to start their business. That could be a class, that could be a course, that could be taking them to an event, that could be sponsoring them at an event. Again, we're starting businesses faster than everybody, but we don't have the tools. So you can support a Black woman entrepreneur by helping her to have the tools or buying something from her so she has the money to invest in herself.
I'm in agreement. I mean, I say support and encourage and support. So supporting by
her little business.
Yeah, right. But encourage, pour into, my love language. I was just talking about this the other day. My love language are words of affirmation. I just want somebody to encourage me. I just want somebody to pour into me. I just want some and acts of service. So words of affirmation and acts of service. And I want you to do for me. We could touch too. We could do all that. We can do all that other shit. But encourage me and go above and beyond for me. So that means for me, if you want to invest in me in something that's going to help and benefit me, man, that's everything. I'm gonna love you down for the rest of your life. You do those two things, Black man. Love me, support me, encourage me. We good. I'm riding.
Guys, so I know we're not necessarily acknowledging Fabric, whoever that person is right there. But
which one do you want to put up?
Yeah, he said the only show that was synonymous with our lives was Good Times in San Francisco.
Fuck you, and fuck you, and fuck you.
The thing is, the reason why those types of comments are disparaging and untrue, and the reason why you might ignore somebody like that is because if everything you have to say is a negative towards Black people in the way that you see us, in the way that you talk about us, in the way that you remember us, and your reverence for us is negative, it doesn't help. It doesn't get us closer to community. It doesn't get us closer to rising. It doesn't give us the ability to see ourselves in a different perspective. Why couldn't the Cosby Show be realistic? It is realistic today. Even if it wasn't realistic when we watched it then, today, you have Black families that have 2 doctors in them. You husband and wife. You do have a husband that's a husband and a wife that are doctors and lawyers. So even if it wasn't real at that time, because they showed it to us, it's real today.
Impossible.
Even though maybe all those kids weren't going to HBCUs the way that they showed it in a different world, a lot of people wanted to go to HBCU because of it. So because we put positive images in front of us, people believed what was possible, and now we have what we have today.
Right.
So I just wanted to say that.
Well, I wasn't. He said all kind of stuff that I was not acknowledging about, and everything he put on there was negative about Black people, about how we ain't going to close the wealth gap, and we ain't going to do this, and we ain't going to do that. So that's why I ain't even acknowledging him. But to your point, Good Times was one of my favorite shows when I was growing up, and so was Cosby Show. You have the best of both worlds. You have all Black people come in all different types of socioeconomic statuses. And we've been this way since after, probably since before emancipation. There have been wealthy Black people. I know people who have had banks in their family, Black people who have banks in their family going back 100 years. Here, where I live in here right now, I know people who've owned banks. Right, I was out with someone last night. And they were like, hey, I want to, take a look at your neighborhood. They were dropping me off at home. And I said, let's go around here. I live in a community where it's 90% Black. There's homes in my community that looks like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air's house. These are Black people. So don't tell me that is not a realistic perspective of what our experience is. I know somebody who lived in this area. I'm not necessarily in this community, but he said, I didn't know until I went away to school, and I went to a white school, that everybody didn't go on vacation. This is a Black person. Everybody didn't go on vacations with their families, and everybody didn't go to Martha's Vineyard in August and have the Inkwell experience. That was his experience. Everybody does not have a ghetto experience. Everybody, I'm gonna tell you, I just told this story not too long ago, and I was telling it to Tira, and I replayed it on my page. I had a neighbor. So I lived in an affluent neighborhood in California before I moved out here. So I had this neighbor. And we were friends. I say that loosely, but she had moved out, and she had some Black tenants that moved in. And so they were moving out, and she calls me and she goes, hey, Constance, I'm going to see if they want to buy the house, but I don't think that they could afford it, blah, blah, blah. Well, she knows I own a mortgage company. I said, okay, well, let me know how I can help you. Next day she calls me and she's like, I said, how'd it go? She said, oh, it didn't go. It went to the left. They got upset because they said I assumed, that they didn't have money, because I just thought that they didn't have enough money to buy the house. And they were like, you don't know our village and you don't know this. And I said, well, is this that Black Lives Matter thing? And then she told them, the same soup kitchen you were in, I was in. The same welfare line you were in, I was in. And I said, did you say this to them? He's like, yeah. And I said, how did you know that they were in a soup kitchen or a welfare line? She was like, huh? What makes you think these people grow up on welfare? Because they're Black? I didn't grow up on welfare. I'm Black. That's not our experience. And she apologized profusely. But not only do white people think that of us, it's that Black people thinking that of us. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's your experience. Maybe you haven't seen anything else. Yeah. But that is not in whole, because we are not a monolith as Black people. There's different experiences. So, I guess answer his questions or negate whatever his statement was. Our experience isn't just good times. But actually, my experience growing up was a little good time-ish. It was a little good time-ish.
You should have those moments, right? Like you have to be the gambit. You need a little bit.
I had a mom and a dad, but we had some struggle time. We had some ghetto moments. I wasn't raised like this. I wasn't raised like my kids. However, you know, that all Black people don't have the same experience. And so quit putting us in that box. And I hate that. Let's see. Affirmations are a very kind gesture because sometimes we just need to hear things, and that's motivation in itself. It costs nothing. Yes, just tell me something. Just tell me something good, baby. Just tell me something good. Tell me that you love me. Yeah. So if you guys have any questions for me or Dr. LaNée, you guys can come on YouTube or on Facebook and ask the questions. I see there are comments on the Instagram, and we can't put them up on the page.
At least make it quiet. I might be able to try to
them to increase their business.
All right, there we go. Let me see if I can make it.
Yeah. So we can't put. So if you're on Instagram and you have a question, come over to YouTube. And if not, we're gonna head out. But Dr. LaNée, can you tell them, because I want as many people to be in the room as possible. In next month. Yeah, because I think it's going to be a real dope experience. Not just an opportunity to meet us, like, that's cool too. You can meet us, but just really being in a space where you have these really positive and amazing Black women, and it's going to be life-changing. Tell them a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I think that's, in my opinion, that's the most important part. Like, it is going to be a good time to be in a room with Black women. It is going to be a good time to be in a room with Constance and myself and some of the other people. It is going to be a good time for collaboration. Like, all of that stuff is amazing and great. It is the cherry on top. But what it really is going to be an opportunity for you to invest in yourself and your business, to understand your business. We're going to be going through AI. I want to make sure, and everybody will walk out with their brand AI twin. So if you've been struggling with AI, trying to figure out how your images should look like you're going to have that. We're going to talk about your business model. And if you've never done a business model, you don't understand the 9 categories that you need clarity in for your business, we're going to get that for you. I know you've been talking about that, so I'm glad to be able to do this with you.
Excited. I'm going to have my workbook too, y'all.
Yes. We're going to be doing, the goal is for everybody to leave with 2 additional revenue streams. So we have a whole session on monetization and looking at your business to see what you do and where can we find 2 more revenue streams for you. So you're going to leave with more money from, a plan for more money. We're going to look at your vision and your values and make sure that your offers are in alignment. Are you communicating who you want to be communicating to? Is the price right? So you could literally come in at $100,000 business and leave at the $300,000 business by just doing some tweaks. Or if you're a startup business, maybe you haven't even started your business yet and you're saying, I don't want to have to bump my head and lose money and have to make a whole bunch of mistakes. I want to come in here and make sure that I know how I'm going to start my business. So this space is for any person who says, I want to level up in my business, whether you're starting the business and you want to make sure that you level up so you don't have to lose money, or you've been running your business, but you want to make sure that you have the foundation in place so that you can elevate in your business. That's what this room is for. It's for Black women to come together, love on each other, collaborate, support. You're going to have your partner sitting next to you, talk to, you walk away with numbers. It's a safe space to elevate.
A safe space to elevate. So if you guys are interested in joining us, you have time to join the conference. We're going to go on a cruise after it too. And they still can go
we're going on a cruise. Yes. So we are.
If they want to turn up on a cruise, they can do that too.
They can still turn up on the cruise. You still got a little time to turn up on the cruise.
Let's talk about it.
So Wealth Won't Miss Us is the theme. The name of the conference is Black Power Business Conference. Our theme this year is Wealth Won't Miss Us. It's our 5th anniversary. When is the conference? Good question, C. Petit. It is next month, April 25th and April 26th. That is a Saturday and Sunday in Miami. We'll be in Miami. Miami, Saturday and Sunday, April 25th, April 26th. If you do want to go on the cruise with us, if that's something that you want to do, we will be doing a 4 nights cruise out of Miami on the Royal Caribbean Wonder of the Seas. We're going to the Nassau, Bahamas, and we're going to Coco Cay, Good Day Coco Cay, which is Royal Caribbean's private island. It is amazing.
It
is amazing. So we'll be doing Coco Cay. We'll be doing is that it? And then we have a day at sea. Okay. So yeah, so we'll be on the ocean. We'll be celebrating. We'll be turning up. We're doing a midnight mastermind. So I don't know if you've ever talked about your business in the middle of the ocean with the moonlight at the top, like just talking business. We're doing special nights. We have We have a white night. We have an Ankara print night. We have a Black Power night where we're doing like soft jewel tones. We have our shimmer and shine night. We about to turn up. We're about to have a good time on cruise. But in Miami, it's just, man, I have never been to in a room where I left and I have a CEO plan that makes operating my business, I don't want to say simple, but let's say easier, clearer. I've never left where I've had women who I can call and contact and will support me. I've never had a community, a circle, right? And when you come, you'll have Net 7 there. So Constance and her knowledge and her community. You'll have myself and the Hive. You're going to be surrounded by women who want to see you do well in life.
You're going to leave with your business bestie. You're going to leave with like just a whole slew of new family members who you're going to be able to connect and call. Hopefully your next joint venture partner is going to be in the room. Maybe you've always wanted to start something, but you didn't know how. Maybe somebody else has a strength that you desired or that you don't have, and you could collaborate. Like, there's going to be so many opportunities, I think, that's going to show up in this room that if you're not there, you're going to miss a brilliant opportunity to be around some of the best women that you'll ever get to be around. So I think that's going to be amazing. Can I tell you a secret? Strong enough for a man, but made for a woman. I hate theme dress ups. It's always been my thing, but they look beautiful for the gram. Yes. And I be there. I be in my all white. I be in my all silver. I be doing it. But I be like, God dang. But it looks beautiful. But I just be like, I hate things. That's just me.
It's gonna be fun. Well, so that's why I
didn't want to be fun. Like, all women love this stuff. I'm not like a girly girl type of girl. That's why. So I just be like,
all white is easy. We're gonna get our Lisa Ray on. And plus, you can't be in the ocean. I do all white party. So we're doing all white when we arrive. And then Ankara, we're gonna bring the black to the cruise. We're gonna do a little Ankara print, a little African, little razzle dazzle.
I don't know what Ankara is.
So it's like the African prints, if you will, like an Ankara print. So if you think like the long skirts, like anything that has like an African type of a print to it.
Okay.
Let me show you. I'll show you.
The thing about it is, I got this little African number I wore at an African party last year, but I wore it. It had pictures on Instagram. Let me see. I don't know.
I'm gonna share my screen real fast and see if I can Instagram. Share. What you say?
Deborah Wynn's gonna be there. Is Deborah Wynn's gonna be there? Deborah Wynn's gonna be there.
Deborah's gonna be with us.
Oh, nice.
Deborah will be there. Share my screen. I'm going to show you right now, so people can see what an Ankara print is. So they're just like your African prints.
Okay, I got you. I got
no one in particular. It's just any of the types of different African prints. These would be considered your Ankara prints. So it can be a skirt, it could be a dress, it could be culottes, it could be a maxi dress, but just something, we're gonna bring the black to the cruise. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So that's it. It's not really.
Okay. I'm starving myself for the next 30 days because I gotta look good. Because I stopped going to the gym last year, and I've been put on all kind of weight. So I need to just go ahead and starve myself so I can be skinny.
Taryn Mon said, "Where can we register for the conference and the cruise?" Right there. You're going to go to blackpowher.com. Now, let me tell you guys want to use Constance's code. Her code is pretty easy. You want to use the code because she has promos, right? So we have 3 ticket options. Your general admission ticket. Good job, Constance. Your general admission ticket is on the website. It says it's $299, right? If you use the code NET7100, you can save $100 and it'll drop it down to $199. So NET7100 for general admission will save you $100. If you want to come in and do VIP, on the website, it's $499. If you use Constance's code and put NET7150 for VIP, it drops at $150 and you can come in for $349. So NET7100 will save you $100 on general.
And let me tell you about VIP. I don't go anywhere without doing VIP, and that's not even a flex. It's just the access that VIP gets you is just another level than general. Not mad at anybody who gets general, so don't feel bad if you get in general.
Yeah, general gets you in the room. If all you can do is get in the room, get in the room.
Yeah, But if you feel like, you want an elevated experience, I always, for me personally, and if you just now going to conferences and you ain't, this is, you barely making it, do what you got to do. You're going to see us anyway. But I always try to do VIPs, and VIP just has given me access and proximity a little bit more than general in the conferences that I go to. No matter what, I try to do VIP for sure.
And this is no different. I was telling conference before, my girlfriend Lanika, she does bougie brunches. She flies around the country and hosts these 5-star elevator brunches. When she came here to Phoenix, the brunch was $200. Just for going to brunch was $200. And I have convinced her to come to Miami, and she is hosting a bougie brunches on Sunday while we're there. So we just keep elevating the experience, right? And then for the cruise, Taryn Mom, if you are interested in cruising with us as well, on the website, it says to contact Julie, right? But if you know that you're interested in the cruise, do contact Julie, but also reach out to me so that I can escalate this, because it's happening so fast. So if you are interested in the cruise, you can go to the website. You can also just, if you DM me on Instagram, I am at Dr. Javette, I will walk you to her to make sure that we can get you on the cruise if that's something that you're interested in. The last thing is we're down to 37 seats. So if you are interested and you know you want to come, 2 things. We only have 37 seats left. So we're get your seat. And number 2 is, if you need to stay at the hotel, at a bare minimum, get your hotel room by tomorrow, because our hotel rate, which is $150 less than what's on the website, will be expiring this week. I'm hoping I can get it extended to Friday, but right now it's tomorrow. So if you're even thinking about coming, book your hotel, at least at minimum. But get your conference seats, because they are going. There's only 37 seats left.
Yeah, better get it. I hope to see you guys there. I think what I'm looking forward to the most is just being able to meet people and to be able to share and love on the people who come, and to be able to just support in and give them everything. Because what you're going to get from both Dr. LaNée and I is everything. We're going to give you everything. I don't believe in being a gatekeeper. And so whatever, every knowledge, any question, whatever access, we got hella access to, whatever I have, anybody who's in our community, I'm definitely willing to give you access to whatever it is that we have. So, but I'm looking forward to really just sharing with you guys and meeting people and just becoming friends with the folks that show up. That's gonna be it for me.
Yes.
Dr. Vibe.
You see, Bay Love says, where is the link for the cruise, or how do you inquire for tickets? There it is right there. blackpowher.com, BLACKPOWHER.com. And you can use the code NET7100 for general. It'll save you $100. Use the code NET7150 for VIP, and it will save you $150. But you just go to blackpowher.com.
You want to answer these questions from Dr. Vibe? Because he had a couple more questions.
Go for it.
He got a lot of questions. Damn, Dr. Vibe, what you on Chat GPT right now? What we doing? No, I'm just kidding. How are Black women redefining wealth beyond just owning a home, and what alternative assets are they prioritizing?
Ooh, that's a good one. I'm trying to figure out how I answer that. Let me tell you how I would like to hope that they're doing it. Let me say it this way. In a world where I personally feel like Black men and Black women are not communicating, we're not meshing, we're not aligning, we do not, in my opinion, we don't have the same, not beliefs, but prioritization, I might say, around relationship. I would like to hope that we are redefining wealth beyond our money, beyond our financial stability and the dollars and cents that we have in our bank account, and that we are looking at wealth as coming together, as family, as building a legacy, as partnership, as working together. And I think in doing that, it creates more financial stability and more financial capability to invest in stocks, in commercial property, in being philanthropists. I think that we do a lot as single individuals, especially as single Black women, to invest in things and think, and our belief is if we have these financial things, we're going to be okay. But I would really like to see us get to a place where we are looking at family as wealth, and we're spending as much time and energy in connecting with brothers as brothers would spend with connecting with us. So that's what I would like to see. I don't know if that's what's happening, but in a perfect world, I would like us to prioritize the Black family as a wealth generator.
Good shit. Yeah, for sure. I say, multiple revenue streams. Make sure you don't have all your eggs in one basket. Make sure that you are divvying your stuff out. So, like for me, I believe in, stock. I invest in businesses. I invest in real estate. So I think, the Bible says have 7, no 8. It said invest in 7, no 8 revenue streams because we don't know when a disaster is going to strike. And so I think that having all your eggs in one basket is a surefire way to disaster should something happen. So I would say, just make sure that you're diversified. The next question, how are Black women using education, upskilling, and credential building to increase their lifetime earning power and close the wealth gap?
That's easy. Everything you said, education, upskilling, and credit building. That's literally
all of it.
Right? Getting more education so you can make more money at work, or as I did in your invoice, because when you put that doctor in front of LaNée, it took the invoice up when I slide it across.
Hey.
Right? So the education, more money, upskilling, more knowledge, more information, so you can speak in different rooms, you can talk to different people, you have more to offer. Credential building is the same, and I would say credit. When you can pay your bills, your credit goes up, and then you can start playing with other people's money and not your own. And so how does that increase over your lifetime earning power? You make more money. When you make more money, you can invest more. When you can invest more, now you have your money working for you through commercial properties, through your house, through stocks, through investing in other people's businesses, through being philanthropists. And now you can help other people to make money. My goal for my life over these next 10 years, because I would like to retire at 60, is to help 500 Black individuals or families to reach $500,000 in income or revenue. When I do that, I will have helped to generate $250 million in Black wealth, or as I like to say, $250 million. But that is what that's the mission that I'm on right now. I want to help 500 Black families, 500 Black men or 500 Black women, 500 couples, doesn't matter, 500 Black people to increase their income or revenue to $500,000. And I say income or revenue because it might be through your job, it might be through your business, it might be through stocks, it might be through real estate. I don't know how it's going to come, but seeing you reach that's my life's purpose at this moment. And my goal is to do it in the next 10 years.
That's dope shit. So Black women, so you got to get educated. You have to pour into yourself. I think one of the biggest things I always tell my agents or people who work for me is the education, the knowledge is the biggest thing. Because people often say, well, I don't know how to talk to people. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to, go about. The more that you pour into yourself, the more that you learn, the easier it's going to be for you to have conversations about your business. If you really understand who your target is, if you knew how to articulate your unique value proposition, that all comes with education. You having to get that knowledge and that skill set, that's going to help you up level your business acumen so that you can close a wealth gap. So I say that just getting that education is going to be paramount to that. He said, what policy changes in housing, education, childcare, and retirement would most move the needle for Black women in wealth?
I don't want to just say bring DEI back because that sounds ignorant, but I would say equal access, right? To it across the board. Everything, I feel like everything is created to hold us down, right? So if you think about the reason why DEI came in, it was so that we have access to these different things. They took it back, right? So DEI from a work perspective, but I think it's in housing too, right? You can't no redlining, no changing district lines to say that this community can vote here and this community can vote there, or that this community gets 2 people in the office and this community only gets 1 based on the numbers. Like, stop playing the games. Like, whether it's in education, these schools get these types of teachers, and if you live in this community, we're going to bust you over here. Like they're playing games in every game, in housing and education and childcare. They play these games of, well, once you figure it out, we're going to change the rules and we're going to redistrict it and we're going to redraw the lines and we're going to, like, just stop playing the games.
Yeah, that's never going to happen because this country was built on playing the games. Again, if you got to cheat to win, then it ain't really a win. You know, the problem is when equity is given, it holds up a mirror to their mediocrity. They can't not exist without special benefits and a head start. They don't do well when the playing field is level. They cannot rise to the occasion when the rules are equal. It just is what it is. It's been that way since the inception of the country. So that's a novel idea, equality or even equity. But we've been able to rise to the challenge or rise to the occasion without all of those things. So we can't be reliant. I think that's a big thing, is we can't be reliant on policies, on politics, on anything from the government. Black people, nobody's going to save us but us. Nobody's going to save us. We got to save ourselves. And we've done a damn good job in spite of. We've been a social experiment since the inception of this country, from slavery to now. Do not blame yourselves for the positions that you're in. Not saying that we didn't contribute to our own demise, because we did, but we've allowed them to do that by the things that have been done to us. We don't have a lot of the power. And I'm not saying that we're victims, but we just don't have a lot of the power. And so a lot of things have been done to us. It's like when you have rats and you're experimenting on them rats, they tend to start to behave in a certain manner. That's what they've done with that power. But I think we're in a time of great awakening that we just have to know that we got to depend on ourselves. We got to be self-reliant. But if there was anything, I would say if they could, again, I don't even want to say them giving us nothing because you know that comes with strings. But if they can give us anything, I would say grants. Give Black people, give us access to funding so that we can fund our businesses. You give us that little bit of thing, and man, you don't even know what we about to do with it. But you can't depend on any policy changes from the federal government that's going to be sustainable to help us, because they just don't give a fuck about us. We got to give a fuck about ourselves. That's Democrat or Republican, in my opinion. Sorry, that was a little soapboxish, but what are the 3 concrete steps Black women can take today to start closing the 3 concrete steps? I think you've already answered that question in the beginning. Yeah. So we already answered that question in the beginning, but thank you for those questions, Dr. Vibe. Those were really good. Let's see. Any other questions before we head out? As Black couples, we should be able to build our wealth together and have loving relationships with one another. That is the idea. That would be lovely. The reason I ask so many questions because of Fly Nubian Money, I don't get the chance to because there are so many people. Thanks for asking my questions. I appreciate you asking the questions, though. This is good shit. We appreciate you.
Can I answer Brittany Trent? She said, how often do you host these events if I happen to can't get off work? I usually do 2 events a year. It's a Facebook question right above Deborah Will Win. Brittany Trent, 431. And I believe Constance hosts events as well, but I do 2 events a year. I usually do one so I don't know if you guys know this, but April is Black Women's History Month. So I do Black Power or some type of a women's focused event every April, at least for the past 5 years.
Really? April, Black Women's Month?
Black Women's Month, yeah. So you have Black History Month in February, you have Women's History Month in March, and then you have Black Women's History in April. That's why I do Black Power in April.
All right, I'm gonna have to do a special for Net 7 in April then.
Yep. And then I do one in October. The one I do in October is Brand Your Brilliance Live. And that, well, actually, I'm not calling it that. It's called CEO Re-Up. And that is all around doing your strategy and preparing and getting yourself ready for the new year. So I do 2 events a year like this, 2 big events like this. This year, I will be doing CEO Summer School, which I'm pretty geeked about. Constance, I haven't talked to you about that yet, but I would love for you to come facilitate. And it'll be like a 1-week program where we kind of just refocus at the half-year mark. And so I will start doing CEO summer school, but not a lot because we coach. So usually I'm in the weeds with my clients coaching. So it's hard to kind of do these types of events, but usually twice a year, 2 to 3 times a year.
Good shit.
Do you do events like this?
Oh, so for me, you could tap into my communities. I do go to my website, constancecarter.com, and you can see how different ways you could work with me. So go to constancecarter.com. I got all kind of stuff on there. Anything that you are interested in that maybe that may pique your interest, go to constancecarter.com and see how we can work together. I do some wealth coaching. I do some credit coaching. I do Net 7 Collective. I have the Grow Your Money Club. I have the Bring Your Idea to Life training getting ready to come up. So I have all kind of things that I do. So just go to my website and check it out and see if there's something that is really resonates with you. In any of those ways, you'll be able to work with me directly. And then, what is really keeping us down? We got multi-million-dollar Black NFL players that don't come up to the community uplifted. I was on someone's panel. They said the Black NFL and the Black NBA, that's not their jobs. Okay. I think again, we got to save ourselves. We can't be worried about nobody else. It's what are we doing? Yep, you're right. There are a plethora of grant opportunities available. Knowing how to apply is the key. Applying collaboratively is vital. That's good. That's good. That's great information. Does becoming an MWBE help the Black community? A minority woman-owned business enterprise?
Yeah, I'm gonna say yes. My easy answer is yes. Yes, it does. Or yes, it has. What does it mean going forward, right? We don't know yet because this other thing just happened. Historically, yes, it has. Hundreds of millions of dollars is earmarked for MWBE ventures. We don't know what that means right now, but historically, yes. And people are still getting certain.
Yeah, it's gone. Anything that's to help minorities is
through the government from a DEI perspective, but there are still smaller organizations that have earmarked money. So I work with Tito's Vodka. Tito's Vodka has a $1 million initiative that they do they don't call it DEI, right? But they do call it. So a lot of the businesses are not using minority language anymore. They're using, 50-year-old brain, what is it called? It's called disenfranchised or communities, underserved communities. So they're calling it different. So underserved communities, disenfranchised, and they're still using MWBEs as their barrier of entry. So if you're certified, if you're but they can't call it DEI, they can't call it minorities, but they are still doing things. Like I was saying, Tito's has a $1 million initiative that they do for nonprofits, minority-owned nonprofits. So there are companies that are still doing it. It's just not as lucrative from the government perspective, where those large government contracts are.
Good stuff. Well, y'all, we're going to wrap up. We've been on here long enough, 1 hour and 37 minutes. But for those of you guys who are interested in joining Dr. LaNée and I next month, we are going to be on a cruise. Oh, we should have had Baby Let's Cruise. Oh, from here. Yeah, so we're going to be cruising. If you want to cruise with us, if you want to come to the conference with us and walk away with your 10-year, your 9-year plan and your 5-year plan and the 9-point plan and all that stuff, which is what I'm going to be learning too, be in the room, make sure that you are in the room, because this is going to be something that's going to be life-changing. You're going to have some powerhouses in there that's going to give you some good game. Dr. LaNée has worked really hard in putting this whole conference and cruise together. And we are going to, so the thing about me is I like to turn up and have a good time. So I like to work hard. I like to play hard as well. So if you don't like to play hard, then, you can come, you don't got to play with us. But if you like to turn up, you're going to see some turning up there too, because we like to have a good time. I don't do nothing if fun ain't involved. And so if it ain't going to be fun, I don't want to do it. So this is going to be an amazing time. So you guys go to blackpower.com and get your tickets. Use the code net7 100 or net7 150 for the VIP. I'm looking for the Black Power. Net7 100 or net7 150 for the code. If you want to sign up to get the discounts. All right, y'all. All right. We appreciate you guys hanging with us. Y'all hung with us for a minute. So thank you for hanging with us. It's been a lot of y'all on here and we appreciate you. We'll see you.
Bye, everybody. Thank you so much.